The Power of the Spoken Word by Florence Scovel Shinn. What I've done is I've gone through this book, pulled out a handful of quotes from each chapter, and I'd like to get into discussion of the power of the spoken word. We have the power of choice. We may follow the magic path of intuition or the long and hard road of experience by following the reasoning mind. By following the superconscious, we attain the heights. In the intuition are the pictures of eternal youth and eternal life, where death itself is overcome. We have the power to impress the subconscious mind with the picture of eternal youth and eternal life. So we can navigate reality, gathering information via our five senses, and this is one way of living, and associating meaning to this data that is captured via our five senses. A lot of times we look to the external world and ask others for what the meaning is that we should give to the data that we receive via our five senses. And in this information may or may not be helpful to us. But what is being proposed here is that we have the ability to go within and work with our intuition, our connection to the superconscious mind, the connection to infinite intelligence, and ask within what is the meaning we want to give to the data that we receive. If you walk across the street and someone looks at you a certain way, do you give them a meaning of empowerment? Do you give yourself the meaning of empowerment? The meaning that you give doesn't necessarily reveal about the other person. It reveals to you about yourself. Because who we are is a combination of the different meanings that we give to our experiences via the five senses. At least that's the identity that we believe that we are. There's a lot more to who we are, and that is found through the understanding of working with our intuition, or the sixth sense. This is discovered when we have a radical shift of perspective and realize that we are the cause of the external world circumstances. Now, this evolution might happen in bits and pieces, or it might take the form in a radical transformation. But there comes a point in each person's life where they can cross-reference the external circumstance to the meaning that was given within. So we ask ourselves then, where does this meaning come from? Going back to the point I made earlier, the meaning usually comes from the external world. When we start to listen to ourselves, when we start to trust ourselves, we realize that we can change the meaning within. Now, why would we want to change the meaning within? Because the vision of that what we want to create requires us to hold true to it. That means as we navigate reality, as we go about doing what we do, we understand that all data can be given meaning to be of contribution to creating that what we have in our imagination or our vision. And one of the goals of creating the kind of results that we want, the success we want, is by evaluating the meaning that we give to the different data inputs via the five senses. What do we give as far as meaning to what we see, to what we hear, to what we feel? Where did the meaning come from? What is the best way of going about interpreting that data? Can we go within? Many times, as we encounter on the journey of creating that what we desire, we're met with obstacles. And these obstacles on the surface might seem like setbacks. When we pause for a moment and reflect on what's being discussed here, we realize that we're giving it the meaning of the setback. And if we change the meaning into something like, this may appear to be a setback, but there is a lesson here. What can I do with this so I can transform it into something that can serve me? I trust that I have the ability to do this within. I trust that I am connected to the superconscious and I will get the meaning from within. What if I ask? Then we start to experience a little bit of a perspective shift. We start to look at whatever it is differently. And after looking at it differently, we realize that There's a different meaning. Where did the meaning come from? The meaning came from within. And with this meaning that was given from within, we're able to propel ourselves forward. Now, you do this with enough repetition, and what you'll find is that you'll be able to create that what you desire easier and easier because you're cross-referencing the meaning that you're giving to whatever shows up in reality and saying that this is related to bringing forth that what I desire. Now, the five senses' meaning from the external world might deny it. Usually it does in the earlier stages, or it appears to, because what we're really creating as far as experiences in the external world is a representation of what's within the subconscious. And that comes from past experiences a lot of time. We have the ability to impress the subconscious from two primary ways: in our mind's eye, or in a vision or imagination, or through the external world, an impression that was given to us by external representation or television or information or people, environment, and circumstance that was infused with suggested meaning. You could choose to adopt that meaning, or you could choose to adopt the meaning that you give to it within. What you'll find is that you have the ability, and by choosing the meaning that you give from within, you'll find yourself being a lot more harmonious and identifying that everything in reality is revealing to you how to bring forth that what is related to your vision. That's the power of choice, and that's the magic path of intuition. Let me now express the divine idea in my mind, body, and affairs. If you will impress the subconscious by repeating this statement, you will be amazed at the changes which will soon take place. You will be bombarded by new ideas and new ideals. A chemical change will take place in your body. Your environment will change for the better, for you are expanding rapidly into the divine plan, where all conditions are permanently perfect. Do we give the meaning of empowerment, all things are possible, and it can be done, that what you desire? Or do we give it the meaning of that what is related to fears, doubts, and indecision? Fears, doubts, and indecision is meaning that is received from the five senses and associated by meaning given by others and experiences that was interpreted as fears, doubts, and indecision to impress the subconscious mind, express outwards, and rematerialize that what was related to the meaning given in the first place. That did not come from the imagination. That did not come from the divine idea in your mind. That did not come from the divine plan. The divine plan is one of harmony. When we say heaven is looking to manifest on earth, heaven, the word heaven means harmony. Internal is a state of harmony. We find that within when we reflect upon the statement in the Bible when Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you." Now, if the kingdom of heaven is within you, and heaven means harmony, then the divine plan and the divine mind knows how to bring forth that what you desire in the most harmonious way possible, and it does not need to identify with the meaning of fears, doubts, and indecision. That's meaning learned through inputting data via the five senses and associating that meaning to it. Why are some individuals fearless in one circumstance and then others find a lot of fear in that same circumstance? For example, I speak a lot about the world of entrepreneurship. And selling tends to trigger a lot of fear in a person. Now, when a person keeps on the journey and evolves the meaning within, associates new meaning to rejection, they find themselves excited and encouraged when they experience the same data input of rejection, whereas others still feel that meaning of rejection. What does that do? Well, all it does is it impresses in the subconscious mind and expresses outwards that what we call rejection in various shapes and forms in multiple areas of our life. So we have the ability to then reflect upon all the meaning that we are receiving via our five senses and say, we can change this within, in our mind, through the sixth sense meaning. The meaning that we get from the sixth sense, which is always in the spirit of harmony. Destiny means the place you were destined to fill. We are fully equipped for the divine plan of our lives. We are more than equal to every situation. If we could get the realization back of these words, doors would fly open and channels will be cleared. We would actually hear the hum of divine activity, for we would be linked with infinite intelligence, which knows no defeat. Opportunities would come to us from unexpected quarters. Opportunities would come to us from unexpected quarters. Now, one of the things that I've realized on this journey, and I talk about this a lot, is it's important for me to have a definite chief aim. Now, I learned that from Think and Grow Rich. And the idea is that you have a goal, that what you want to create. And you realize that the moment you impress that on your subconscious mind, you affirm that you are going to achieve that goal, it will be brought forth. And all we have to do is remain consistent in our thoughts, our words, our emotions, and our actions to the best of our ability till it is brought forth. And if for some reason there's inconsistencies, then we ask ourselves, what is within the subconscious mind that is expressing to create these inconsistencies? Where does it come from? A lot of them come from past programming. Where did this past programming come from? For a lot of us, it's experiences in childhood that kept building upon itself and re-expressing till we assumed it to be fact. We assumed the fears to be fact. We assumed the doubts to be fact. And for some of us, we kept believing that those fears and doubts and indecision was so factual that we became convinced that it was so. And until you try once with something small and say, I'm going to believe that creating this is possible, and I'm going to trust that within myself I have the ability to do this, even if the external world denies it, and I'm going to honor it all the way till it's brought forth, one does not realize how to work with infinite intelligence. Why? Because infinite intelligence defies much explanation that what we have. We try to explain it with words of how it is, which is why in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill mentions, the sixth sense can only be understood to a large degree by those that have been living the philosophy and have mastered or have a high level of proficiency for the previous principles. What are the principles they're designed to do? They're designed to help you bring forth the definite chief aim, that what you want in your vision, number one, and reveal to you about yourself and what is within your subconscious. That's why a large emphasis was put on the subconscious mind. When one is revealed what is in their subconscious mind, they understand themselves, they respect themselves, they trust themselves, and realize that they can release that programming. And when they release the programming, they start to notice changes in the external world. They might not be able to explain those changes, but they notice those changes. Some of them they can explain. They're just connecting the dots looking backwards. And some of them they can't explain. Well, the ones that can't be explained, credit them to infinite intelligence. And it was within you, and you did it by changing the cause within, which was releasing the programming of that which didn't serve you. Destiny means the place you were destined to fill. Destined to fill. It is your destiny to become aligned with the idea that you have the ability to bring forth that what you desire. It is part of this journey of life. And to cleanse your mind of fears, doubts, and indecision might not happen overnight, but this is the process. Because that's when you'll understand the sixth sense. that's when what's being discussed here will make even more sense. So what do? You set a goal, you go about your journey and believe that it will be brought forth. You release any kind of programming that causes you to think, feel certain emotions, and behave a certain way that is within your subconscious mind. You bring it forth, and you come back to this book, and you come back to this video, and you will understand it even more. That's what Napoleon Hill meant when he was talking about the sixth sense. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. How do you communicate about what is being communicated to you right now? What do you believe? It is revealed to you in your mental conversations, in the conversations that you have about yourself, in the conversations you have about others, in the conversations that you have about people, environments, circumstance, and situation. It is not about the external, because the external is materialized, projected outwards, understood by the meaning from within. It is within you. So then, if what is within you has created experience, created the people, the environment, and the circumstance in the external world, what if we change the meaning within? This is why, when you create a definite chief aim and you bring it forth, you release various subconscious mind programming that was causing you to create people, environment, circumstance that was inharmonious to the kingdom of heaven within. And then you pick another desire, that what you want to bring forth, and you go through the same process again and again and again, until you find that you are harmonious in your ability to trust yourself within, reassociate meaning from that what you receive via the five senses within, with greater ease, greater ability, greater presence, greater awareness, to bring forth what you desire over and over again, till you unravel greater abilities, which is working with infinite intelligence. The power of the tongue is how you communicate, how you believe. What you say is an expression of who you are. How you communicate and your choices of words reveal what is in your subconscious. And it is not to shame, but to understand yourself. What do you say? We can become more aware of this and realize from this that we can track it back to the meaning we give to things within. And we can change the meaning and watch our conversations become more harmonious. Become more harmonious with ourselves, with others, with people, environment, circumstance, and harmonious in relation to that what we desire to create. Harmony within is experienced through harmonious words and conversation that is brought forth with harmonious results in congruence. A person with rich consciousness attracts richness. A person with a poor consciousness attracts poverty. I've seen people in this truth rise out of lack and limitation by linking with the God power within. Not depending on the external, trusting in God gives you irresistible power, for the supreme intelligence only knows the way of fulfillment. Trust in me and I will bring it to pass. Trust in me and I will bring it to pass. What and who are you trusting? Well, that what you trust is within you. It's the voice within, experienced in imagination, as a voice within. It is distinct to each person, but whatever it is represents the conversation of it can be done. It would not speak in a way that would be fearful, indecision-based, doubtful. It would not be speaking in a language of scarcity, hatred, anger, jealousy. That is not the voice within. If you tune in, the voice is always there. It will always respond in one that elevates you to a greater ability and capacity and understanding within that it is so. Be strong, fear not. Many people have lost what they prized most dearly in life. This is because invariably they fear loss. The only weapon you can use against your lions is your word. Your word is your wand, filled with magic and power. You have your wand over your lion, and you transmute him into a kitten. The idea behind this is that what do you believe is happening in various circumstances, environments, and dealings in the external world? Whatever you believe, you can converse with yourself. You can communicate yourself to reveal the meaning. This is why I'm a huge fan of journaling and writing things down. One of the great revelations of writing things down is it brings to your understanding, concretely, externally in the world, a understanding of your state of mind, the state of mind that you're in. Observe how you communicate and understand one very important thing. How you communicate, if it's not harmonious, is a net result of taking in information via the five senses and meaning via the five senses and expressing it outwards and reflecting it on the paper or wherever it is that you write it. It is revealing to you the state of mind of what was impressed in your subconscious. And if it's inharmonious, you can release the programming within that caused you to express it accordingly. It is not you. It is not the true you, because true you would not speak that way. The true you speaks from empowerment, abundance, well-being, spirit of harmony. All things are possible. And when you change the meaning to the various elements that was expressed on that what you were writing within by reflecting upon it, meditating upon it, then you'll notice that when you express again on the paper, it will be different. It will be more harmonious. But this is not just an exercise to improve your communication skills so you can be more eloquent with your words. This, when released the programming within that causes you to express in harmony, will have an impact on that what is created in your life, and you will notice it with a more harmonious relationship with yourself, with others, with circumstance, and with environment. And you can repeat this process again and again and again. That is what she means by your word is your wand. To the degree that you adjust the communication and the words that you use when you explain how reality works is going to reflect to you that what you are creating. If somebody has in their life created a lot of abundance, what you will find is they will speak more so of obviousness, absoluteness of creating abundance. They will be so convinced that there's nothing you can say to them. Now, the same is to be said on the flip side. So one of the great exercises that you can do to evolve in this, to be more harmonious within, is to observe not just your own conversations and track it back to circumstance, but observe the conversations of others and track it back to their circumstance. Soon you will be able to see with striking accuracy the connections, and then you will realize that what is really going on at a deep level is that they, like you, have had their subconscious mind impressed. The question is, what has been impressed on the subconscious mind? Has what has been impressed harmonious or inharmonious? To each their own. But when one wants to create harmony within, they have to understand that if inharmony exists in the subconscious, then it is projected outwards and created as inharmonious relationships with others, people, environment, and circumstance. And one evolves the programming within in the subconscious into that of harmony, it will translate into harmonious relationship with people, environment, and circumstance. And the words reveal it. Infinite intelligence knows the way out. Infinite intelligence knows where the supply is. For every demand, we must trust it, keep our poise, and give it right of way. Now, what we're talking about here is working with infinite intelligence that exists within you. Infinite intelligence is within you. That's why pretty much any philosopher, if you go into the depths of their knowledge and wisdom, they will reveal to you what was stated in the Bible, which was the kingdom of heaven is within you, and they have each their own way of articulating it. The power of God being within you. All the answers are within you. Trust your intuition. Listen to your inner voice. Work with your imagination. Many different ways of expressing the exact same thing, that infinite intelligence is within you. You shall receive your answer in the same way in which you sent out your demand. Your dreary desires are answered drearily. Your impatient desires are long delayed or violently fulfilled. What you believe and that what you impress in your mind will reveal to you the consistency and inconsistency of what is within your subconscious mind, along with being brought forth over the course. And to the degree that you release the inconsistencies of what is being brought forth, you have a greater degree of understanding and compassion towards yourself and others. What is being sent out? That what you believe as far as how reality works is sent out. For all we know, there might not even be an out. This just might be in a way that we use to explain things, outer world and inner world. For now, it's a great conceptualization to help us understand and emphasize the point that when we look at reality, it reveals to us of what is within ourselves, expressed outwards. And the change and the evolution happens within. And to the degree that we evolve within, we see the representation in the external world. All life is vibration. You combine with what you notice, or you combine with what you vibrate to. To change your world, you must change your vibrations. Turn on a different current in your battery of thought, and you will see the difference immediately. What does this mean when we say vibration? Again, another way of explaining something, but what it really means is that the inner world is a reflection of the outer world, and to be harmonious within, and when we know it's harmonious within, we refer to that as the aligned vibration. That is our vibration. For one person, they might say a good vibration is X. Another person might say good vibration is Y. Who is right? It's their choice. We're talking about harmoniousness within. When peace, unconditional love, harmony, power to do, and belief and faith in God and infinite intelligence within, on your side, is the default state, harmony is expressed outwards. The kingdom of heaven is a vibration, and it is within you. And when it is found within you, as we've all had glimpses of this, when we see the synchronicities, when we experience the alignment in people, environment, and circumstance, when we maintain it, it is the expression outwards as what we call the vibration. The laws of laws is to do unto others as you would be done by, for whatever you send out comes back, and what you do to others will be done to you. So again, perhaps there is no out there, and all that exists is this, and all is one. Well, in the Kabbalion, we say all is mind. So perhaps all that exists is mind. But the bottom line is this: what is in the mind? We categorize, because this is our way of being in this existence. We say external world, internal world. We have something called polarity. We have up, down, hot, cold. There's polarity. Positive, negative. And we have outer world and we have inner world. The bottom line is this: that what you do onto yourself within is experienced in the external world. That what you would do onto others in the external world is what you do to yourself within. If what you do to others is inharmonious, then you have inharmoniousness within. Now, this is not to shame yourself, Because again, we were taught these things through past data input and meaning, and we can evolve this within, understand ourselves, have empathy and compassion for ourselves, and that's why it's said in the Bible, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Who is they? If they might not even exist if all is mind. Is they you? The thing that we can do is understand one very important point and make this a consistent part of the journey. All change happens within first, and we can give the meaning to circumstance as convincing as the external world might seem to be gripping and to have power over you. We can change that meaning. And when the meaning is changed, the external world changes. Our behaviors change. Our thoughts change. Our emotions change. That is what is experienced in the external world is experienced differently by changing the cause within. And everything offers us clues on our level of consciousness, on our level of understanding. And the journey of creating that what we desire is, to me, not just about creating what you desire, but a journey of understanding yourself. And you understand yourself by valuing both the destination and the journey. If someone says to me, what is more important, the journey or the destination? I will say both, because all is one. Now, the ability to realize another important point from the Kabbalah can really help us with this. When we say everything is and isn't at the same time. And here are some elements of this that we need to keep into consideration. We are individuals and we are all one. So if someone says to me, are we all one or are we individuals? I'll say, we are both individuals and we are all one. Well, I'm Joseph, as in the individual, but you and I are all one because we reflect to each other what is within ourselves. So we are one. We are in harmony. Our subconscious mind are in alignment. And this goes back to the concept of polarity. So thus, what I do unto you, I do unto myself. When we say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, we are also saying to ourselves that we want to understand ourselves more, because the moment we make a statement like that, we understand that it is within ourselves further that is expressing it outwards, and we open ourselves up to that conversation within and the ability to understand how so. Peace and prosperity. Whatever you desire or require is already planted on your pathway. Often a new word will give you sudden realization. If you are in need of any information, it will be given to you. So by working at this level of consciousness, that infinite intelligence is within you, that you have the ability to change meaning within you, and that meaning that will be given from infinite intelligence within you is one of alignment, one of spirit of harmony and well-being and abundance. You have a relationship, what is your specific relationship with God. And thus, new words and ability would be given to you. In the beginning, Genesis, God created the Word with the statement, let there be light. Created the Word and the world, because in the beginning there was the Word. Again, words represent something to us individually. What do they represent? Well, at a deeper level, everything is energy and vibration. So words have vibration, but words also have the vibration that we have associated to it. See, again, going back to this earlier, you can tell somebody, how do you feel when I say the word rejection to you? And they'll say, I get excited about it. It empowers me. It is optimization data to reveal to me what I need to evolve within myself, because I realize that if I'm being rejected, it is me rejecting myself, and it is expressed outwards. And what is really the goal that I'm looking to do is to find those that are harmonious within my harmoniousness within, and by realizing that on my journey of, let's use the example of entrepreneurship, sales, you go down on the journey of selling and you experience rejection, do you look at it from the perspective of this is optimization data revealing to me of what I can optimize within, which is reflected in my processes and that what I do and so forth? Or is it their fault and their problem because they rejected you? One way of looking at reality, the meaning, will propel you forward because it is one that comes from within that is harmonious. Harmonious for you, harmonious for them, and harmonious for divine. See, because I have a huge background in entrepreneurship, I will speak to this and say that sales is not about manipulation. It is about finding those that are harmonious to that what you have to offer and building a relationship with them and making the offer on a fair exchange. It's spirit of harmony. If there's any other meaning related to that, we have to perish the thought. Why? Because it is a revelation if we have an inharmonious meaning to a interaction like that with another human being of programming that we have learned via the five senses. And if you go within and you speak with infinite intelligence, then you realize that infinite intelligence wants your dreams to come true. Why do you become an entrepreneur? So you can maybe experience a certain success that being an entrepreneur creates for you. Now that's something that you desire, and that's something that infinite intelligence desires for you. So infinite intelligence is on your side. And what is being revealed to us is meaning on the various steps along the journey. And we can change the meaning within. Where did I get this meaning from? This meaning came from within through my relationship with infinite intelligence. And as a result of that, I transformed in my ability to sell. I became better at it. So there was no tricks or twists or things that I was doing, rather than a constant meditation and reflection that what I have to offer is value. I believe it. I operate from a spirit of harmony. And those that are ready to receive it will present themselves, and it will be fair. And as a result of it, they will benefit from it, I will benefit from it, and divine will benefit from it. That's what I call the spirit of harmony. Benefit for you, benefit for others, or benefit for, and I should say, benefit for divine and or evolution, however way you want to look at it. Whatever word you want to associate with it, whether it be divine or evolution, it's the same word. All that the kingdom affords is yours. So we said the kingdom of heaven is within you, and now we're saying all that the kingdom affords is yours. If you will give infinite intelligence right of way, that's it. For it has already supplied a lavish supply for every demand, but it must be fully trusted. If you doubt or fear, you will lose your contact with the supreme force. That's why it's important. When you reflect on that what you want to create, whatever it is for you, be it entrepreneurship, whatever it is, what fears and doubts stand in the way? What limiting beliefs, ideologies do you have that stand in your way? And know that that is not you. Those elements, as true as it may seem in certain circumstances, it is not true, and you know that it's not true related to your vision. This is why in the Kabbalion they say, all truths are half-truths. So some circumstance, your limiting beliefs might have been true. But in the circumstance of that what you desire to create, it is not true. It becomes fear and doubt-based. And releasing that brings you in the harmonious connection and working with the infinite intelligence that has its ways of going about bringing it forth. Active faith impresses the subconscious with expectancy. And you keep your contact with universal intelligence. So as a result of this discussion, we have to reflect back and say, what is the level of faith that we have to that what we want to create? What is your definite chief aim? And now we know that there's a journey for multiplying the faith, by supporting the faith, by asking ourselves, what meaning have we given to people, environment, circumstance, or situation that denies the faith? And release it. Change the programming within. That programming that is within us is not written in, it's not carved in stone. It is meta. It exists only in the mind and can be released. The first idea, to make it so, is do you believe it so? And again, we refer to the Bible when we say, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. That's the paramount belief that unlocks all of this. Your big opportunity. Look back in your life and see how you have attracted either happiness or disaster through your words. Again, words are revelations about ourselves. As Neville Goddard once put it, speech is the image of mind. What is within your mind? Observe your speech, the inner conversations that you have about yourself, the conversations that you have with others, the choices of words that you use, the sentences and how you express yourself and what you say. Again, it's not to shame ourselves, but to understand ourselves and realize that we're on a journey of evolution and we can evolve our words, our communication. The subconscious has no sense of humor. People joke destructively about themselves and the subconscious takes it seriously. It becomes the mental picture you make while speaking impresses your subconscious mind and works out on the external. A person who knows the power of the word becomes very careful of his conversation. We read in the Bible, life and death are in the power of the tongue. There are 3,000 promises in the Bible, but these gifts can come to us only if we can believe them possible, for everything comes through you, not to you. Okay, everything comes through you, not to you. Life is vibration. Feel rich and you attract riches. Feel successful and you become successful. All that you desire or require is already on your pathway. Once you set in your mind the definite chief aim that you have, you know it with certainty that it is yours. Because otherwise, why did you create it? You stated it in your words, and you may have written it down, like I do, and say, this is your definite chief aim. And if you had written it down, then it is yours. It was meant to be. It was your destiny. And you have to realize, and if you don't, then there is programming within us that we release. That the desire or require is already on your pathway, but you must be wide awake to your good to bring it into manifestation. What does that mean? The good is harmony, again, within. How harmonious are you about your definite chief aim? It does not mean that you can't create the definite chief aim. It means that you are inharmonious with the definite chief aim. It is what it is. So what can be done about the inharmonious? Knowing that the subconscious mind has the connection to infinite intelligence. Knowing that infinite intelligence gives you spirit of harmony-based meaning. That what empowers you. That what is benefit of you and others. And divine evolution. Infinite intelligence will never give you a meaning that takes away from another person. That takes away from evolution. That takes away from divine. It does not happen. This is part of an overall divine plan. After making statements of truth, you suddenly have a flash of realization. So perhaps this conversation right now, as you're listening to this, has created a flash of realization. What was that realization? Well, write it down. That came from infinite intelligence. What are we doing? We're conversing deep within about truths that ring true to the core of who you are, which is revealed by setting a definite chief aim, bringing it forth, releasing that what is inharmonious in our subconscious mind, and repeating the process over and over again till what is being discussed here is so rooted in your being that you cannot be convinced otherwise. You cannot be convinced otherwise that all things are possible. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is in the external world now, but you still hold the belief that it is possible. And that belief connects you to infinite intelligence. That belief will reveal its way at the right place at the right time. You will be guided from within. You suddenly feel yourself in a new environment. You feel old negative conditions falling away. You can never do a thing you cannot see yourself doing, or fill a place you cannot see yourself filling, not visualizing, making a mental picture. This is a mental process and often brings wrong and limited results. It must be a spiritual realization, a feeling that you are already there. Okay? This is a distinction. This is not just imagining in your mind. Spiritual realization is the feeling that you are already there. That's the difference. That is a different form of holding in your imagination. That is a different form of feeling. Now, Neville calls this feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling of the wish fulfilled is a spiritual realization. It's a realization. That means that actual moment is real. And when held into that, when maintained, even if the five sensory data and meaning denies it, and you change it along the way, it is brought forth. Because it has always been brought forth. If you reflect back in your life, you've done this many times. It has been brought forth. You may work very hard on the external and accomplish nothing if you are without vision. Vision means to see clearly where you are going. Clear vision is like a man with a compass. He knows where he's going. Let intuition be your compass, and it will always get you out of the woods. Even a man without a compass, led by intuition, would find his way out of the jungle to be able to steer a ship at sea. So we're saying the vision, that which you want to create, is yours. Otherwise, you wouldn't have created it. You would not have made it a definite chief aim. It would have been something that you might thought was a good idea, but when you say this is a definite chief aim, this is what I want to create, that's something different. That's a spiritual realization. That is a connection and a relationship building element with you and infinite intelligence within. And then you listen to yourself, your intuition within, to rewrite the meaning that you had given to past data and current data and all data that shows up via the five senses to be in alignment, which is in alignment, to be in alignment with that what is related to your vision. And how is this revealed? By how you talk about people, environment, circumstance that shows up between the moment that you impressed and had the spiritual realization in your mind and the manifestation of it, the realization of it. That journey in between can be understood by the words that you use, the conversations that you have with yourself, the conversations that you have with others and about others in your mind. That does not reveal anything else other than the alignment or the misalignment with that what you are looking to create. And to change those words, you can find the meaning within. And finally, change your words and you change your world. For your word is your world. Your word is your world. It is a very accurate way of measuring that what you have created and that what you are going to create. If you want to copy this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.